The Formula One pre-season in Bahrain brought more than just data on car performance in 2025. An unexpected gesture from Max Verstappen turned the subject behind the scenes and moved the paddock last Friday. The three-time world champion was caught by cameras showing his middle finger as he walked past the Williams garage in a scene that quickly went viral and raised questions about the target of the provocation and the possible consequences for the Dutchman. With the FIA's recent stringent measures to punish drivers' behavior deemed inappropriate, Verstappen's gesture raised doubts about whether the reigning world champion could receive a new punishment, something that could put him even closer to a suspension. Currently, Verstappen accumulates 8 penalty points on his record, and if he reaches 12 in a period of 12 months, he would be automatically banned from a race. However, the FIA ruled out any investigation into the incident as it was not an official interview or act during the competition. The repercussion, however, took another direction when the true recipient of the gesture was revealed. Contrary to what many have imagined, the gesture was not a reaction against photographers or rivals, but rather a humorous greeting for Luke Browning, Williams' junior driver and personal friend of Verstappen. The scene, although unusual, served to reinforce the relaxed side of the Dutchman, even in the midst of intense preparation for the upcoming season. Despite the explanation, the episode rekindled the debate about the new stance of the FIA in relation to the behaviour of drivers. Recently, severe punishments have been applied for statements considered improper, as in the case of rally driver Adrien Fourmeau, fined €10,000 for a simple outburst during a live interview. Verstappen himself was once required to perform community service after using a slang word at a press conference at the Singapore GP in 2024. The FIA's more rigid approach has not been well accepted by most drivers and has generated friction between the association representing drivers, GPDA, and the entity's president, Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Verstappen has not spared criticism of the new stance and argued that common sense should prevail. "We know that we should not use certain words all the time, but in the heat of the moment, with high adrenaline, it can happen. We are adults, and this should not be taken so literally," said the Dutchman. The controversy also divided opinions among the teams. Toto Wolff, head of Mercedes, acknowledged that F1 must maintain a posture of respect, but pointed out that there is a difference between targeted insults and spontaneous reactions by frustration. "We are representatives of a sport of high technology and precision, but we should not repress the emotions of drivers inside the car. If there is no direct insult to someone, that should not be grounds for punishment," Wolff said. The issue promises to remain on the agenda throughout the season, especially in a year where the tension between drivers and the FIA seems to be higher than ever. And you, what do you think of this rigid posture of the FIA? Emotion must be contained, or there is room for more human reactions in motor racing. Leave your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel to stay on top of the latest news from Formula One.
The Formula One pre-season in 2025 has barely begun, but early signs already indicate that teams will have a year of intense challenges to balance performance and reliability. Among the teams that seek to consolidate at the top of the category, McLaren has been one of the most commented. The British team, which shone by winning the Constructors' title last season, is already facing a dilemma with its new car. Lando Norris, one of the highlights of the grid in 2024, did not hesitate to point out a feature that may hinder the performance of the 2025 model: instability at the rear. During the tests in Bahrain, the British highlighted that the car's behavior presents traction difficulties, especially at the curve exits. The frank assessment of the driver caught the attention of the press, but also found support within the team itself. Andrea Stella, head of McLaren, commented on Norris's impressions in an interview with motorsport.com. The Italian commander agreed with the criticism of the British, explaining that rear instability is a recurring problem in the Bare Night line. According to him, it is natural that cars face difficulties in this aspect on a circuit that demands much of the traction, especially in the curves of low speed. Even with the recognition of the problem, Stella pointed out that the issue is not exclusive to McLaren and reinforced that the limitations are part of the current regulation. "The only time I saw such a dramatic change was in 2011 and 2012, with the exhaust effect. But within the scope of regulations, you will always have these limitations. The secret is to minimize them," said the leader. Despite the instability, McLaren believes that the 2025 car is based on a solid foundation built over the course of last season. The impressive performance in the final stretch of 2024 put the team as Red Bull's main competitor, and the Woking team bets on continued development to fight for victories throughout the year. What remains to be seen is whether McLaren will be able to resolve the instability in time for the start of the season, scheduled for the Australian GP on March 16th. Norris's candid opinion and Stella's open stance show that the team is focused on evolving, but the challenges are great. Now we want to know, do you believe that McLaren will be able to solve the rear instability problems and fight for the title in 2025? Leave your comment and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates about the world of Formula One.